My wife says, Mike running late?
That's a surprise, right? It's like asking Kathy.
Yeah. Wayne's boogieing. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome on in. As you can see, two familiar faces that we have not had in a little bit of time here in the studio. Basically because they are running for election and in the town of Griswold.
That's correct.
And let's see.
Everybody can hear me okay?
I don't know. 1, 2. Go ahead, talk.
1, 2, 3.
Rich.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Everything's shared.
Wow. That's
All right.
crazy.
Nice sunny, chilly day.
Huh?
Nice sunny. It was chilly. It's a little warming up now, but
Yeah. But I don't think it's going to get much warmer the rest of the year. I think it's done.
So.
It's fall already.
As long as it doesn't rain this afternoon, we're good, right?
Huh?
As long as it doesn't rain this afternoon, we're good.
Yeah.
That's right. Today is 9/11.
Yep.
That's correct.
And there's an event today.
At the school.
5 o'clock at the elementary school by the memorial that the kids put up years ago. Yep.
I just want to double check, like I always do. There's an event today at the school.
5 o'clock at the elementary.
All right, good. We got sound, boy.
Yes, we do.
I'll tell you what's happening already. It's good. So
through the show and realize you don't have sound. It's awesome.
I've done that before.
No, huh?
Several times.
I'm not perfect, man.
Nobody's
right.
perfect.
I have my problems too.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of waited to do this interview with you guys because we didn't know what was going to happen, as far as the primary was concerned,
You
between
don't want to make it a campaign event. I get it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and I wanted to wait to have you on, Wayne, because I didn't know who was going to be seated with you at that point. So, Rich, you won you won 138 to 130.
Correct.
The Selectman primary. So I guess my question is because it's only an 8-vote win, was there a recount?
There is going to be. There wasn't going to be, but it was requested by the other party.
Okay.
So there is. I found out last night there is going to be a recount, only because there was. And I won't say it's an issue. It was something that came up when they were doing the final numbers that CVRS, which is the voter registration system, showed 96 early ballots handed out, but only 95 and 91 were accounted for. And the reason for that is 4 of them got voided. So they're in an envelope, they're voided, they're duly noted and all that stuff, but it doesn't go away on the CVRS side until you go in and change it. But there was a lot of talk about it, and I think that threw a lot of like, oh my God, we got 4 ballots missing, whatever the case may be. So the recount was requested, but it hasn't happened yet. I'm supposed to be getting notified by the head moderator when that takes place. They have, I think, until Tuesday to do it. We are allowed to be there. I think the public's allowed to be there. But nothing's going to change. It's just going to be verified that, yes, it's off by 4. We made the change. It's because of the 4 voided ballots that we had to void.
Right.
And that's the end of it. So it was close. Yeah, very close at 8 votes. I mean, I was shocked.
You can't get much closer than that. I mean, the other one that was, of course, was the school check election where he won by 1. But then they recounted and it was 2. So, and who did he beat? Phil Anthony?
Yeah.
So it can happen. You never know.
Every vote counts. For those people out there that think your vote doesn't count,
and
I hate to say it does.
Listen, those votes didn't happen on their own. I mean, Wayne was with me every day. We were going out and walking and door knocking and doing our due diligence. And others have said that it's a lot of work, it's tiring, and it is, because you're out there walking the streets literally and knocking on doors. But the payoff is worth it, and it's like, oh, that was a close one. I mean, but it is what it is.
But now Martin is still on the ballot.
He will be as a nonpartisan, so he won't be party affiliated, and his name gets moved down the list to the bottom.
Gotcha. Okay.
He petitioned for it. If he decides to go for it, listen, we don't know. I mean, until those ballots, get made up. I mean, he did get petition paperwork to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So if he doesn't do it, listen, then he's not on there. But if he is, he'll be in a nonpartisan position.
I'm going to go with the bet that he's going to be on it.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So then the selectman position is going to be yourself, Martin McKinney, and Matt Danieluk on the Democratic side.
Correct.
So on the on the first selectman side, it's pretty clear.
Cut and dry. Him and
it's going to be Wayne and Tina.
Mm-hmm.
Once again for the first selectman spot here in Griswold. 2 years ago, Wayne, it was one of those. It was very much a breath of fresh air because there were two candidates that were seemingly on the same page that had pretty close, very close, the same thoughts and wishes for what they wanted to do for this town.
Yep.
2 years have passed. Do you feel that is the same way now, or has it changed for you?
No, I still have the same thoughts. I've learned a lot in the last 2 years about what's going on, what projects are going on, what issues have been carried forward and things. And I think it's a matter of how I would manage them compared to how she's managing them.
Okay.
Really, it's really the difference. I'm a big believer in, I saw some spending that, of some monies that I thought we could have gotten from somewhere else and not.
Such as
the fire marshal truck that they bought. That could have been a grant.
Was there a grant available that you knew of, or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Plainfield bought a similar vehicle up there with grants. And that's why during the last 2 years, we were pushing a lot for a grant writer and to go after grants. I mean, you could see me at the Board of Selectmen meeting constantly, saying, well, we could get a grant for that,
right,
and try to keep the cost off of the taxpayers' back.
So how much was that truck that was spent?
$50,000.
Now, was that spent out of ARPA funds?
That was out of our budget.
It was out of the budget. Okay. All right. What else? I mean, I guess the other question is what would you do different? I mean, I think you got to tell voters, something more than, okay, a fire truck. I'm not saying that that's not valid, because it is. Right. But what would you do that would be different and better as yourself as first selectman instead of Tina?
Well, first off, I would have had a town building committee and a clerk of the works following this project down 164, and I asked that question to the Board of Finance 2 years ago in an email, didn't get a response back. You probably have a lot more transparency of what's going on right now. Unless you go to a special meeting during the day, you really don't know what's going on. It's not really talked about. The Board of Selectmen meetings every other Tuesday. We're letting in my mind, we're letting a engineering firm play the part of a project manager or clerk of the works, and not really an independent source that's looking out for the best interests of the town and reporting to the selectmen. They have had, I think we've counted like 130 special meetings since they've been in office. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of meetings.
A lot of meetings that people can't attend.
Yeah, people can't attend. And it's even a burden for the selectmen to show up for that many
And
meetings.
never mind, there's no public forum, so
You know?
you can't even speak.
And you can't speak, can't ask questions, things like that. And when I ran on last time, same thing I'm going to run on this time. I'm going to run on an annual state of the town, meeting for the people to come and talk with all the directors there. Because if I don't have the answer, they'll have the answer. And if things need to improve, we put it on a parking lot list, and then respond to the residents that way. Have quarterly meetings with all the board leaders. That was the other thing that I noticed, that we didn't see a lot of selectmen involvement with committees and commissions, unless they were on the commission themselves. Now, I think we saw them at the ordinance committee meeting once. I don't think I ever saw him at public health and safety. I think he's been
I hate
on
to
EDC.
say it, but nobody cares about public health and safety.
Well, nobody does, because nobody
To
knows
be
it's
honest
around.
with you.
Nobody knows it's around. I've talked to several people. A lot of people didn't even realize we had a committee for public health and safety.
So myself personally, I know it's around,
Yep.
and I don't care about it. And the reason why I don't care about it is because they really can't do anything. I think there's a lot of great talent on that board, and a lot of knowledge on that board, but the board can't do anything.
Nope.
So it's hard to get behind and get. I mean, I was actually on the board, and then I was why?
So why do you think you can't do anything?
I don't know. You tell me. I mean, because I can tell you this. I know the last election, they were looking for not election, but the last referendum, not this year, but last year, they were looking for a measly $1,000, on their budget. And this was the protect Phil, full-time Phil. Remember at the school when they were looking to possibly cut Phil Michelle off of the rec budget because it was
they cut him to halftime.
Yeah.
Yep.
So but they left them.
Yeah, we had a $500 budget. You can't really do a lot with $500, and we asked for $1,000. We asked to bump it up to $1,000.
Right. And then I sat there. The last thing I said at the end, I said, "Oh, by the way, give public safety their $1,000."
Right.
Yeah.
And the worst part is public health and safety in the bigger picture
because that's not going to move anything.
Has tried to do things that not just going out and handing out first aid kits at the any event that's up in the park, but things like the CERT team and stuff like that, and you just get rebutted. They don't want a part of it. I mean,
no, that's what I was leaning to. I'm leaning to the committees and commissions can only do how they're supported by the leadership of the town. That's what I'm saying. If they're not involved in committees and commissions, then even on ordinances, we were asked to do ordinances. We write the ordinances, and then they get shot down because we can't enforce it. That was a lot of the reasons we couldn't, do the noise ordinance. We couldn't do short-term rentals, all that stuff, which actually short-term rentals became an issue again a week or so ago. So, and I spoke, I said, we've got one in draft still. We can still move forward with it because this is going to kick up again in another couple of years. So without the involvement of the leadership, and I think I brought this up last time I ran, when I first decided to throw my hat in the ring for first selectman, I went online and tried to find out what the first selectman is supposed to do. And the first thing it talks about is being involved in committees and commissions.
What does the first selectman do?
Yeah. So, if you're, and that's what you're supposed to do. So that means a lot of meetings at night. And we talked to two first selectmen. I talked to Mr. Sparkman, and that's what he does. He spends some time during the day in the office, but he spends most of the time every night with the committees and commissions to see, what help they need, where they're going, that kind of thing, and gets involved with them, see if they can support their needs and things like that. So, same thing with Kevin up north. And congratulations, Kevin, up north.
Yeah.
But
now he's congratulating Kevin Cunningham, who won the primary against Paul Sweet.
Right.
In Plainfield.
And that was going to be a recount too, but for some reason it's not. I don't know what happened.
Last I knew, it was going to be a recount. It's not, huh?
It was supposed to. The recount was supposed to be yesterday. Yeah. No. I got told no recount.
I heard Paul Sweet conceded. So basically,
did he?
That's what I heard. Yeah.
If you want my honest, I mean, we're here to talk about Griswold, but I'll be honest.
Right.
But I'll be honest with you, I don't think he wanted it. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
He retired once, wanted to be, continue as a deacon, in his church, and that's great and everything. I was very, very surprised to see him. I wasn't surprised to see Mike Supernaut.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's going to be wonky. You're going to have the retired police chief, and a lot of problems are, with the police, and Kevin Cunningham. So hopefully they can work it out and
No, our conversations. We've had conversations with Kevin. He's a pretty level-headed guy.
No, he will work with anybody.
He'll work with people, and that's what you're supposed to do if you want a job like this. Work with people. Doesn't matter what party you're from or where you're from or whatever. Discuss things in a sane manner and don't go off the rails.
Yeah, I think this was, in my opinion, was Paul Sweet's swan song. It's like, okay, now just spend your retirement years, with your family and, be a good man in your church. Cause it's, one thing, cause he came on the show and that's, was talking about what he enjoyed. So yeah, dude, you don't need the crap. Just live your life, So anyway, what about, and I don't even know if this is even, it goes back to the public health and safety discussion. What about actually just taking items from public health and safety and putting it on as a line item or line items on the board of selectmen meetings instead of having, so my thing is like, okay, well, let's see, we can't really do anything because, according to you, you're saying that the town leadership doesn't support it or doesn't let you do things or whatever. Am I right there? Or
we had.
Okay, well, no, I wanted to make sure that I'm on par.
Well, I don't think it's. I think it's a matter of delegating. You've got all these volunteers willing to help, and if you don't let them help or feel part of the process, then they're just going to bail. They're just going to leave. They'll lose interest.
We're not allowed to do what we want. It has to go through them anyway. So you're kind of restricted. If we could run with some stuff without having to get approval from town hall, I mean, we're not talking big things, but there are a lot of small things. If we could do things, you sit there and say, hey, we accomplished something. But
so why not make it a subcommittee and put the stuff on? Because there are many Board of Selectmen meetings where there's nothing on the agenda.
It's the same. It's the same stuff. And that's the other thing. The agendas don't really cover topics that I think the taxpayers are interested in.
So what is something that should be on the? Okay,
that should be on there. Any other projects? Any other?
So like 6D should be infrastructure update. You're saying perhaps I'm just correct spitballing here. So.
Yeah, people are interested where the money's being spent in the town. I mean, we've got these SIF grant, we got this USDA loans and all that stuff. And what's the status? How long is it going to take? What's going on? What's really going on with Heritage River? Is it here? Is it there?
See, that's another one I don't even care about.
Well, I know you don't care about it, but you keep hearing like it's just a.
They still.
Well, there's bad habits that keep returning, right? It's like they're done. No, they're coming back. They got another developer. Oh, they're done. It keeps going back like a ping pong ball,
And they still own the property. The bottom line is they still own the property. They can do what they want to do or not what they want to do.
Sure.
But nothing that we're aware of at this point.
The flag property, that's another one.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Stop property.
I mean, you don't have to get in depth with a lot of this stuff.
But this has got nothing to do with the town. I mean, these are all private properties that are owned by private people.
The stop property is what's being looked at for Enviro Powers.
Yeah, that hasn't been talked about.
Yeah.
And that was talked. That's what's talked about at the EDC. One of the members mentioned, we need to get ahead of this and get the information out because then people are going to make up their own stories without having the information in front of them. We're supposed to have a public meeting about it. This has been almost 2 months now since that was presented. And it's like,
weren't they supposed to come to you with some sort of blueprint? Question. And they haven't.
We sent them,
or the questions. You guys got the questions, like 25 of them or something? We
sent it to them. It took them a month or so. And they sent their replies back. And that's really been the last of it at this point. I did hear that they are going to the state for permitting. They have not gone to the siting council. Then they say they're not going to the siting council, which would allow them to just come in and do it if they want to. but they are getting their environmental and deep permits, and I guess they're getting all that in line. But
And this is the company called Enviro Power.
Yes,
Okay.
and I just heard that the other day, and that's all that's happening that we're aware of. We got the 25 answers back. Everybody from EDC got copies of it. I mean, I've looked through them. I've had a couple of concerns with a couple of things that they said in the beginning, but the questions when they got asked in black and white, the answers were a little bit different. But that's it. I mean, nothing. There's been no talk. Nothing. I actually talked to Tom Giard yesterday on the phone, and I asked him about it, and he's kind of positive about it, I think, but right now it's a wait and see.
It's hard to be positive about almost anything because
I know, right?
They come in and they go, and then they leave.
Right, but then how do you have a wait and see
the history.
on that? I mean, how are you positive about let's wait and see what happens? Listen, you got to keep them doors open. You got to keep that conversation going.
Sometimes, as the leadership of the town, you have to make a decision what's best for the town. Mm-hmm. We went around, we asked several people when we were door knocking told them about this project. How do you feel about that? And we got mixed feelings about it.
Yeah.
Right. We got some mixed feelings about.
Well, everybody's concerned about the stink. That's all they're really worried about is the stink. And it's like and the truck traffic. It's not going to smell.
And they're worried about the truck traffic.
Right. And the Lisbon incinerator and the Preston incinerators don't smell.
So they do not. That's correct.
I've been to them. I've been on them properties.
As have I. Yeah.
And so this is totally different the way it works, but let's not get in that. But it's
no, really. I mean, this is an issue.
This
is something that if you get elected onto the board, that you're going to have to continue talking about.
I agree, but their graph of other places are all to the positive on the pollutants and all that crap. They are on the negative side. I mean, they reheat. They
got a whole building that's built with scrubbers in it. It's supposed to clean it all up, and before it goes out the stack, you're not even supposed to notice it. All you're going to notice is the stack pointing up.
Well, they're going to take water to use for cooling purposes. It's just going to get cycled through, and they have it seems like it's a good operation. I think it'll be good for the town. I mean, we'll get some revenue out of it.
More than housetops.
Which we need. I mean, let's face it, apartment buildings don't bring in the taxes everybody thinks it does.
No, this is supposed to be a real needle mover as far as taxes are concerned, correct?
Yeah. Well, that's one of the questions, that's kind of the information that they didn't have at the presentation meeting, but that is what I expected the town hall to have a bit of an answer on that, because they should have done a little research. So this is because if you ask the question, because really, what's the impact on our revenue, right? What are we going to do? What's that going to bring the town taxpayers and stuff like that, right? And they didn't really have that, and they were expecting the company to have that. Well, I hate to say this, but we got people working at building should have that answer.
Okay,
right? They should already had that answer. So.
Well, because we're about a week from calling 1-877 cash now, aren't we?
Payday loans, right?
Call JAG Wentworth.
Oh
God,
it's your money.
Whether they pay taxes,
and I want it now.
whether they pay taxes, do host agreements, or payments in lieu of taxes, whatever is involved there, because it's been discussed. It will be either way. It'll be significant. I mean, there'll be a significant amount of money.
I heard $4 million.
I don't know where you got. I heard you say it a couple times in your show. I don't know where you got that number from.
I heard it from somewhere else, but I'm not the only one saying it.
So I wouldn't ride, too hard on that number, but because I haven't heard any numbers. No. They're supposed to have out all that information at the public meeting, so people will know what we're looking at, right? Yeah. And the concerns that I have, we've seen concerns with this is any kind of tax rebates or any of that kind of stuff and things like that. This
Uline in Plainfield, they didn't even ask for a tax abatement.
These people haven't yet.
So that's the concern. That's the thing that you got to look out for. So, but what? The longer things sit there and not be talked about, the more people like us here assume, and make like intelligent guesses, right? And then once we do that, then
mine was just a rumor.
Then we hear from. Put out there, that's what you're supposed to be doing.
You
right?
know, we heard it. We were both there for.
We were at the
what took place.
daytime meeting when the
I've
presentation was there,
I've
and
got the question and answers. I've got their original pamphlet that they came in with. A lot of questions were asked. I mean, and I won't say they were vague, but there's a lot of them are open for discussion, like the taxes. I don't think they're necessarily bound to having pay taxes from the sound of it. That's why a host agreement or a payment in lieu of taxes was part of the conversation.
Pilot program.
Yeah, something like that. Well, it wouldn't just be temporary, but they would have to pay every year. But there's been no numbers discussed. But it would have to be worth it to the town.
Because that's what the data centers were going to be.
You got to sell it to the town.
Oh, the noisy data centers.
Yeah, you got to
don't even get me started.
You got to sell it to the town, and the way you got to sell it to the town is you got to tell them, listen, this is the money they're going to be paying us this year, and this is going to prevent a $2 million increase every year or a $3 million increase, whatever it's going to be. But it's going to be a significant amount of money. So, we keep our fingers crossed. We have heard nothing.
So, I mean, I have a question for you, Rich. I mean, this is your first time running really for public office in Griswold. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, you were the king of Oshkosh, Wisconsin for Oshkosh Now was your board, right? Kicked me out of that too. No, seriously, how as a selectman, and I'm wondering if this is going to be a different answer. I'm going to ask you as a resident and as a selectman, how do you feel about tax abatements for new companies coming in when this town needs the money now?
My biggest concern with tax abatements.
So answer it as a selectman first.
Yeah, well, okay. So my biggest concern is if I was a selectman, I wouldn't have a problem with a tax abatement program for somebody that wants to come into town. But if you get 5 years into that abatement and they decide to bail out, your 10-year commitment's gone. So you kind of hope and plan for that 10 years worth of money. I mean, I think I would probably have something in there that would bind them to paying something if they left prematurely. Because then you're sitting there with an empty building, whatever it may be, and the town's holding the bag for everything. They don't pay their taxes. It goes through foreclosure. Then you got the town trying to market that property, and it just turns into a mess. As a resident, I'm good with it as long as somebody's coming here to stop paying taxes and they're agreeing to paying and paying. I mean, it's absolutely, if it brings economic development, and I'm all for it as a resident.
Wayne, same question actually.
The abatement program, because there is an ordinance for it. It basically has it doesn't have to be 10 years. It can be decided upon between the two parties.
Negotiated.
Right. Usually, typically it's 10 years. Right. Typically it starts off at 90%, then it goes down 10%.
80, 70, 60, 50. Yeah.
So for a town that has a lot of revenue coming in, that works great. For a town that doesn't have a lot of revenue coming in, you may not want to start at 90. You may want to start at 50 or something like that, right? So you can get something coming into the town, and then after 5 years, you would get the full boat.
Or but 5% a year, I mean,
right? But in any case, we have to get something going on those properties. Those properties are expensive for anybody coming in. They look at the bottom line. They look at how much they're going to pay right off the bat for this property. Mm-hmm. Then they got to pay for permits. They got to pay for this, that.
Surveying, everything.
Yep. For somebody like this who's got the money and is willing to come in and do something, right? And I'm from generation. I worked at Millstone and CY for many, many years. So I believe that we need to start looking ahead and providing electrical generation in this state. And I also believe that we need to, stop throwing stuff in our landfills that are filling up. Matter of fact, a lot of our stuff goes outside of the state now. Mm-hmm. A lot of people make comments, well, is it coming from outside the state? Well, where do you think ours is going? And everybody's concerned with that in my backyard and all like that. But, we got to do something with our garbage that we throw away, and we can turn it into electricity, and it doesn't hurt the rivers or the air content and all that stuff. I'm all for it. And it doesn't make a lot of noise, which this plant's not supposed to make a lot of noise. Yeah, you're going to have some truck traffic, but it's right off the highway. That's the only place we're going to be looking to improve is along the corridor 395. right? And we even got a couple of properties down 201 that we would have to go in the future to go after, put something there, right?
You're talking about right off the highway, that
Yep.
area that was
Yeah.
cleared. It's not so cleared anymore.
Yeah. And actually,
the
there's
state has designated that as a commercial corridor. So
Yeah.
you could put residential in there, but they designated that as commercial.
Yeah, with the houses that are down there,
Oh,
I don't know if they're going to put like oak tree or whatever that is over.
yeah. Well,
you know, because they're going to be concerned with the value of their own homes being brought down. But on the other end of that, there was, from what I understand, there were at least one solid thing that was supposed to go there.
Cumberland Farms.
You know,
you still got that dream, don't you?
They bring them little cake treats.
Mike still got that dream. Cheap coffee at Cumberland Farms.
Somebody bring Cumberland Farms to Jewett City, please.
I beg you.
I
like
beg
it myself.
you.
I beg you. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there would be.
So what did you hear? What did you hear? The one thing is the same thing I heard. I'm just wondering.
Oh, I heard truck stop. That's what I heard over there. Gas station.
I heard a gas station.
Yeah, but like a truck stop, restaurant, and that kind of stuff. And I know a couple of people that spoke heavily against it. You know, and it was basically not in my backyard.
Yeah.
But next June they'll complain why their taxes went up.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. And the thing is, when we've talked to people, we talked about that. So this is the projects, this is what, and the think about it is, yeah, you can say, I don't want it in my backyard. You know, I don't want, there's the other people's waste coming in our state so we can burn it and make electricity with it and things like that. But it's like, okay, so it's a decision. If we don't want any revenue coming in, then you got to live with the taxes going up because the taxes aren't going to go down.
That is true. I got to give you that. I mean, that is very true. If you're not bringing something in to offset that,
right,
then there's not really a whole lot to talk about.
The other benefit that they talk about at the Enviro Power project is bringing all that waste in and burning it and all that stuff, and it's going to reduce your tipping fees because they're going to pay for that stuff and burn it and make power and sell the power. Whereas you bring it to the incinerators, the truck's back in, boom, okay, you got 3 tons. Here's the bill. See you later. That you got to pay. That's why your garbage bills, these companies are getting $50, $60 a month.
Explain tipping fee. Explain tipping fee for
so a tipping fee is
average Joe. That
is what your garbage truck comes around, loads up with everybody's garbage in the neighborhood, and they head to one of the incinerators, and they go in and they dump the trash on the floor. They get weighed in and they get weighed out. And when you get weighed in and out, whatever you left behind is what you get the garbage company gets a bill for.
Yep.
And that's how they base their bills when they send you a bill for $55 a month or whatever they're charging these days. So that's a tipping fee.
And Town Garage pays tipping fees also.
You go in and you dump
heavily.
On
from what I understand, it Todd reports out on that every so often. And
so
apparently,
these people say that will help reduce the tipping fees for the garbage companies in town because they'll take it there and instead of the incinerators, and it turns into power, which they sell. So it's a business thing for them. So if it all works, it'll be great, I think.
But you're going to have the same pushback as anything.
Oh, I know.
You know, Fred's Fish Market wants to come in, and someone's going to go, "Oh my God, the stank!"
Oh, you're going to have seagulls.
You know,
the noise, the stank.
You know, I mean, right?
It's always going to be, there's going to be a multitude of people that are going to be unhappy. So what do you do? What do you do? Let's say Enviro Power does go to the siting council.
Yeah.
And they're going to go in because actually as a private business, they don't need, any kind of endorsement by the town of Griswold. It's staff, management, or residents.
So look at Plainfield. They voted, it was a 10-1 vote against that.
The trash plant,
right?
Yeah, there's signs everywhere. No trash plant.
They're going. That company's going forward with it.
Yeah,
and the people have got it. Kevin's already had it out there. He's looking for money to go sue.
Yeah, he listed all the issues that he saw with them using the site that they picked.
Yep.
So,
I think they just don't want it. Period. I mean, I understand there's an aquifer in the ground up there or something where they want to put this thing, and everybody's worried about that getting ruined. I understand that, but I just don't think they want it at all. And
I think they got to market it different
when they vote 10-1 against.
There you go. You got to market it different.
They should just call it the trash store.
Yeah.
So, but the
We'll
thing,
buy your trash.
but here's the thing. There were a couple people at one of the Board of Select meetings that brought this up and says, what's going on with this trash plant that might be going in over at Stott's property, blah, 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 blah.
Oh,
Well,
you mean this environmentally friendly plant that will sell electricity that will hopefully reduce your taxes?
yeah, well, they're looking at what's happening at Plainfield, and we knew this, and people on the EDC knew that, and they wanted to get ahead of it. They wanted to get the information out about this plant, so that they could put out the correct information and people could read it, make up their own minds, right? But nothing was put out until now with the Board of Selectmen meeting. You're being asked questions because you haven't put anything out. So why not put stuff out and say, yeah, this is what was presented. We've got questions. We sent them questions. We're waiting for responses. Once we get all the responses, we're satisfied. Then we're gonna have a public meeting, and we'll publish the public meeting date and time.
So we haven't gotten the responses yet. Is that where we're at?
For the questions? Oh, we got them.
Okay, so what is stopping us from doing a public meeting?
I guess coordinate it with them because they were part of that whole plan.
Right.
We can't answer questions that are going to get asked. We know that. So they need to be here.
From what I understand, they're also going to bring Deep I heard they were going to bring Deep to the meeting.
I don't know.
The Department of Energy and Environmental Protection.
Right.
And there was somebody, the health department. There was going to be a panel.
I did not hear that.
That would be good. That would be good to have those people there, so people have questions.
Well, just it's the information, whether you like it or lump it. It's
right. Don't just sit there and say trash plant. Well, it's not really a trash plant. It just burns trash and that's it. We're getting a return on it. We're getting a return on money back to the town. We're getting a return on electricity for the state. Millstone's not going to be there forever. I hate to tell people, but Unit 2 Millstone
end of life
is 50 years old. Yep. Unit 3 is 40 years old. They're good for Unit 2 is good for another 10 years. Then they got to get another license renewal. Mm-hmm. These plants were originally built for 40 years. So they're not going to be there forever. And I think they take care of at least a third of the power in the state. So if they go away, I don't know how people are going to get up, run their air conditioners.
Then there wouldn't be enough trash.
I don't know how women are going to be able to dry their hair with their hair dryers, when all that stuff, all that electricity starts, rolling blackouts and all that stuff. And that's the thing that you got to look ahead. And the leadership in the state has failed miserably at that. They haven't looked ahead to take care of that issue. They can't even take care of the issues they got now with Eversource and the cost of electricity. But that they have to deal with it very shortly.
Yeah.
The billions that they put into these windmills and all that stuff, that money should have been put into nuclear power plants in my mind.
No way. Not the answer at all.
What's that? What's not the answer?
Wind, solar. It's not the answer.
I mean, solar's fine. That can be like a private resident's decision to put it on the roof and all that stuff. That's great.
Right.
But as far as sinking billions of dollars into a project out on the sound, that's not going to generate that much. And it impacts the environment also. Right.
I don't understand the whole thing. I mean, I think I told you a while ago, I had somebody come to my house, not this house that I'm in now, but the one previous. And there was this guy said, "Oh yeah, we can save you money. We can save you money." Oh, okay, because that's the foot in the door. Save you money, right?
Yep.
So what am I going to need? Well, if you could have like the last 3 electric bills, so we can kind of gauge.
They want 12.
Oh, do they?
Yep.
Yeah, they wanted. This guy wanted 3. So I said, all right. So we did an average cost of what you spend, and he even said he goes, well, we can put something in here, and we were right. The sun went right over the house, and there was no obstruction. He says, well, we still won't be able to, generate all the power that you need. You're probably still going to need your electric company for about 20% of your power needs. So I'm like, all right, 20% of the bill, 20% of 150 is like what, $15?
$30.
Yeah. Is it? 150?
Yeah. $30.
$30.
Okay. So $30.
Don't forget the.
I was going backwards.
Don't forget the $10 for a meter too. So you're $40.
Shut.
And $40 for the benefits thing.
Oh God! So now I'm back up.
Hey, don't forget your public benefits either. Right?
Oh no, I'm in the borough.
Oh, that's true.
I'm in the borough.
All right. So it's not
the mighty borough.
It's not going to be $30. It'll be like 25.
Yeah. So anyway, you do that, and then of course my bill was like average $175, right? And then the lease payment on this was about
Bingo.
$190 a month.
And it goes
But
up
you're
every-
going to save money.
It goes up every year or two, like 2% every 2 years or something like that. I've had 4 solar companies at my house. Now, I worked for a utility company. I saw these houses in the town that I worked in get solar, and there was not one person that was making money. One lady actually was losing money every month because she didn't have enough roof space to get enough panels to make enough power to offset the cost of, the net meter that you got to pay for and all that stuff. It was actually costing her money every month to have solar on her roof. The last conversation I had with a lady, we were talking about it. She says, yeah, well, my electric bill was only $10 last month to Eversource. I says, and how much were your lease payment? She goes, well, it was $200. I said, my electric bill was $129 and I don't have solar. I says, so who's winning here? I said, you know what? Manage your power.
It's kind of what I said to this guy.
Power a little bit better.
And I don't even remember. He was out of Danielson. That's all I remember. Sure. And my bill altogether was estimated about $225 a month. And that's a 30-year note.
Yep.
And then but the panels only last 20.
They'll at 20 is where their peak hits. After that, they start to go the other way.
Right.
And usually around 25 is when they start dying.
Yeah. So,
and consider the fact is hazardous waste in them panels. So you just don't get to throw them in the dump.
Right.
Yeah. They won't go to this waste generation.
No, they won't go up there. No, they definitely will not.
They'll get buried somewhere.
The only way to actually with solar to make power, and I know we got a little off track, but there was a company in Putnam that's all they did was install. They didn't own it. They didn't lease it. They wanted nothing to do with it, but they would install. And they would put in whatever you wanted. If you wanted to oversize it 3 times, they didn't care because that power goes back out and they got to credit you for that, right? But one guy that I worked with, he had done it at his house in Canterbury. It cost him out of pocket. It was around $8,000 after all the state and federal credits and all that were applied. And he
for the system, right?
Yep.
See now,
install.
And you know how much mine was going to be?
No.
$28,000.
Oh yeah. So
installed after the credits.
So he said he figured it out. He figured roughly 4 to 4.5 years because his bill was high. He had a $300 bill every month back then. He says, 4 years, whatever it was going to be, and he would be flush and even and making money. It happened at like the 3-year mark. I mean, because he just made so much power.
Right.
And he was even, it was paid off, it was done, and he was making money, and he still makes money at this point going forward. So back to the wind and solar. Listen, if the solar was that great, why are we still paying what we're paying? I mean, I know you got the borough, you're in a different situation.
No.
But why do we pay what we pay if solar is so wonderful and wind is so wonderful and whatever else they're doing, it's not. It really isn't.
Hamster wheels.
Yeah, that's it. So pennies. In the grand scheme of things, it's pennies.
Well, if they're pushing it so hard, it means the companies are making a lot of money off of it because they were getting a lot of tax credits or whatever too.
They sure were.
Yeah.
And then the problem is if you're leasing, then that company goes out of business. Who else picks it up? Mm-hmm. Then if you try to
right here in town, Be Free Solar.
If you try to sell your property, it becomes even more of a problem. Because you got that lease you got to deal with, so if somebody's looking to buy the house, but now they got this lease they got to deal with. That's why it's better off. If you're going to do it, you just pay for it, pay it all off. Yep. You own it, and it's easier to sell your house.
Yep. No cost to anybody.
But besides that, got anything else? What other questions you got for us besides all this energy crap?
Yeah, we got off track.
Wow,
we probably put everybody to sleep already.
Yeah. Yep. No, actually, it's growing. My biggest question really was, what do you do different, compared, which we've already talked about, I think the biggest, the biggest question, that people really want to know about or are afraid to ask is what are we going to do about money? I guess I want to talk about town hall itself. Eric Christensen. He wants to go away and go to work to the Board of Ed.
School. Don't say Board of Ed.
School.
The school. Okay. Hold up. Average Joe citizen is going to say, "Oh, he's working for the Board of Education."
Why?
You know
why is that?
just the way that it is. That's the way people
they
think.
see it as the governing body for the schools. Right?
Exactly.
So they would assume. But.
Exactly.
So
I get what you're saying.
and I know you're setting a trap here for me.
I'm not setting a trap. This is nothing. I wasn't going to go anywhere near
So
what you think I'm going.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'm pushing back a little bit, Mike.
Good morning. Good morning, Mary Beth. Nothing
on.
to do with Mary Beth. I wanted to ask you, what happened? What happened? Now, Eric Christensen is, from what we understand, there are some possible, now this is rumor, that there are some issues, with at town hall. One of the things that I, that I saw, you guys saw, it was very out there. One of the selectmen, made claims on Eric Christensen's mental health during a public meeting.
We were there.
No, I know, and I watched it on the stream.
Yep.
Yeah, we were there.
So anyway, I want to let you guys talk about it because apparently there's, I don't know if it's personality clashes or
First
I
off,
don't know what the real reason.
does anybody really know? But I want to.
Yeah, right.
All we know is Eric is going to work for the school.
The school.
Not the Board of Ed.
Mhm.
And not working for the town anymore, which the town may be like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So anyway,
that plan's in place.
Yeah. So how do we get there? How did we get there?
So as far as
Because we relied on Eric in the
yes.
town
He was good at
for everything.
He's
yes,
good at what he does.
you did, and unless that individual comes on the show and tells
His side,
his side of the story and all like that, I can only assume a lot of stuff, which I really don't want to do and get into. But being at that meeting, everybody, what we saw was something you would never see from these two guys sitting here, because we've worked outside of the town hall. We know what requirements are to talk about people's health in public. You don't do that.
You don't do it.
That's a Privacy Act violation, a HIPAA violation. You don't also, which we've seen several times, talk about things that you were not involved with pertaining to that letter that was written or read about the Board of Ed. That individual that read that letter was not part of that meeting. He doesn't know
Well,
what was discussed.
I think we can say who that person was just because of the fact that it is public record.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it was done live on the stream, also in the building. And so the selectman that you're talking about is Martin McKinney.
Correct. So I don't know where he got that information from, but it is not factual. I can tell you that. Sitting there saying that the Board of Ed hired or stole an individual. They didn't do that. They don't hire and fire. They do agree to contracts. They do agree, and sign paperwork.
Well, if you agree to a contract, that's hiring, is it not?
No, but the superintendent basically makes that presentation. He interviews, he hires, he brings that to the Board of Ed. They agree, they sign, but it's not just, the Board of Ed stole an individual. There's more to it. And I'm not going to get into that because
now you know why I said the Board of Ed at the beginning of this conversation and not the school, because the perception is it's the Board of Ed, whether it is or it isn't.
Right.
So anyway, go ahead. That's why I just want to prove that point.
And I would, unless that individual or the superintendent wants to come in here and explain the story and all like that, it's all supposition. But I will tell you for a fact that what was done that night was embarrassing.
You're talking about at the meeting?
At that meeting,
God.
yes.
That
For
was terrible.
Those few minutes, I couldn't believe what was being said. Everybody got in an uproar a couple of years ago when the first selectman had a problem with the borough, right? Or was driving the borough out of the town hall, and the borough had to go by
Dana Bennett.
their own building because the environment was so bad for them that they had to go get a separate building and cost the borough, I don't know how much it was, $100,000 or whatever it was.
Oh, I think they made out well, to be honest with you. I mean, I know they had to do a whole bunch of different things. I think they did a roof. They did a new air conditioning system. They no longer have to pay rent for a resident state trooper because the office is right there.
Correct.
They've moved over the Historical Society and got it out of the 175 degree temperatures of the second floor of the library. So I think it worked out well as far as that is concerned.
Yeah.
But I do
It's
understand
a nice
what you're
building.
saying.
You know, it is a nice building. Nice setup.
Yeah, I've been there a while.
Yeah,
I was there for a bit.
I go to the borough meeting. I'm not even in the borough. I go to the borough meetings just to see, you know, what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, in the borough. But so everybody remembers how that created a big, you know, storm of, you know, this in my mind was just as bad because now you've basically created a bad relationship
Between the town
between
and
the
the
town
borough.
and the school.
Well, they called
The
Eric
town
a
and
liar.
I'm going back.
This
towards,
is the same
Gotcha.
situation that you created, that was created with the borough 2 years ago. Now that you've got with the school.
Well, they called Eric a liar. They called Sean a liar. Everybody lied. Everybody lied. Everybody lied. Oh
And-
yeah, it was not a good meeting, not by any means. I was like floored.
So, and the first thing in my mind when I saw this going on, I'm like, there could be lawsuits stemming from this. There could be.
Could be.
I mean, that individual has every right to go get a lawyer and sue them for what they did.
Yep.
Every right. And the school could be bringing them, you know, if they wanted to. Because, you know, the facts that were put out at that meeting, you know, that was totally, what they should have done was they should have congratulated Eric for finding another job and improving his, you know,
Move on. Just move on.
you know,
Listen,
and he
people
did,
come and people go.
he
Move
did
on.
what he was supposed to do. He had a 45-day notice that he had to give. He did that. Right. And I think that happened like,
and
on
that's
a
why that's in
Friday.
place.
Right.
Because there is a possibility that someone is going to pick up and go somewhere else.
Yeah, it's their right. It's everybody's right to go pick up and go somewhere else if they find something better.
Mhm.
So, but they did not, it was not a good look for them that night.
Rich, you have any comments on that? Or
No, I agree with everything Wayne said. We sat there, we heard it, we watched it. I mean, I've watched it a couple more times. I don't know how you could think any differently about that meeting being absolutely horrible. It should not have taken place.
yeah, the only takeaway I really had of it, I mean, because I didn't really, and I know more about the situation now from talking and
It
stuff.
was all three of them. Don't pick on Martin. It was all three.
No, I think the thing that really threw me off was what Rich said.
Yeah, that was out there.
So it's like, what?
Tina, her comment.
I was sitting on my French steps watching, and I'm like,
and then
what?
Tina saying, and I agree with both of you. Poor statement.
Really should have been a point of order called
Sure.
before that even got into that point of order.
That got off track.
Stop the conversation.
You bring
'cause,
it back to where it's supposed to be.
because
Gotcha.
if you're somebody sitting at that panel and this is being brought up and this is good, you should be point of order. We need to discuss this at a later time.
And not that it would have made it any better, but damn, if you spoke about the guy, he wasn't even in the room. I mean, he couldn't rebut you. It was nothing. It was poor.
Nope.
So we have a civil war.
I wouldn't say it's a civil war. I'm saying that they need to reach out and sit down and talk it out.
Right, but I'm saying there was a civil war between the borough and the town.
There was.
And now we have the school and the town going at it.
Yeah.
The school has not responded. The school's just sitting there.
It's really not their problem.
Do they, I mean, just from a resident's standpoint, do they have to?
No.
Listen, they didn't go poach the guy.
No, but here's the thing about, that's what, you can send emails, you can ask questions to the superintendent or the board chair or whoever.
You'll get answers.
And you'll get answers. What's the real issue? What's the real cause, real case, all that. So
I've emailed
how do you respond to something like that?
I've emailed Sean a couple of times for a couple of things. Always gets right back to you. Always.
Mary Beth says, I suggest you call the superintendent for a meeting. I put
Right.
that up on the board
Right.
earlier. And Dawn Matos says, the two most transparent candidates, and I appreciate your due diligence on town happenings and the willingness to dig in and fix issues. So that is Dawn's thought on this. What's next? What's next for you guys?
What's next? We
November 4th.
Yeah, November 4th.
Well, between now and November 4th,
we're
what
gonna
will you be
be
doing?
Door knocking, and more door knocking.
I gotta
Getting
go
out
buy
and
another
talking
pair.
to
I gotta
the
go buy another
people.
pair of sneakers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear them out.
You've lost weight, man.
I know, right?
I'm telling you, after the last,
You don't have to go to the gym anymore. I mean,
I still go to the gym, but it doesn't show. But I do.
I still go to the gym. I don't care about walking.
I
pick
I
things
lift
up, I put things
weights
down.
up and down, up and down. But yeah, so
Put the one foot in front of the other.
and we did a lot of that.
Oh yeah.
I will tell you though, we got a couple people who weren't interested,
One
in the
door
politics
slammed
or
on
any of
us,
that stuff, right? And we got one door slam in our face,
Yep.
yeah. And we got, but most of the time we've got door knocking's not fun. Anybody that tries to do
No,
it,
I don't think how that could be fun at all.
it's not fun. I called him up, I texted him one time and said, "You ready to go door knocking?" And it's like, I could hear the sigh from his house.
I'm
He
putting
lives
my
quite a ways.
sneakers on. Where do you want to meet?
But
What you do is you put your foot in the door, right? And they go, "No, wait, we're not Selectmen. How about Amway?"
One thing
Fuller brush.
I think a lot of people, what the perception is here's two guys standing on the front porch. They got flyers, whatever in their hand, and you're trying to sell them something. And when we do get the door answered, it's the first thing. It's like a lot of them, when you could tell, it's like, we're not selling anything.
Do you have a moment to talk about Jesus?
We're promised we're not selling anything, right? And they look at you.
Nothing against that.
We're just here for support at election day. That's all. Oh, okay. Well, because all we had was the Republican voters list. We only went knocking on Republican doors because it was a Republican primary, right?
Sure.
And we still got a door slammed on us. It's like, I don't need any of that shit. Bam. Let's close the door.
Okay.
No problem.
Now you know how the Jehovah's Witnesses feel.
Yeah.
You know what? Listen, we laughed about it.
And
walking away.
they're just very
We
peaceful
laughed.
people.
They don't laugh when they walk
So
away.
it's
We
like
do,
you just try not to take it personally. It's like,
Right.
because you look at, you're on the other side. It's like,
Yep.
how many times have I been out washing my car or working in the yard and somebody walks up, I want to talk to you about solar panels, or I want to talk to you
the
about
bug spray guy, the roof guy,
religion and all that
look at my
stuff.
house. Is
So
it
it's
your
like, you try to be respectful, say thanks, but I'm not really interested.
Religion and
away,
politics, man. Those are the two worst things.
Yeah. But a lot of people had good responses.
Yeah.
Walking out way out Rickstown Road, and people that nobody's ever come out here, or even way down Bethel Road or whatever like
more
that.
than once for coming out there.
Yeah, they were. A lot of people were thankful that we took the effort to get out there and talk to them about some things and answer some questions. And same thing. What are you going to do for the town? What are you going to do about taxes? When are we going to bring revenue into the town? We keep talking about projects and revenue and what's going on. That leads me to believe that. And then I asked, do you watch any of the meetings? They're streamed, they're online. You can come to the meetings, if you can, that kind of thing.
I agree with the door knocking, and Kathy just writes, door knocking is not fun, but there's no better way to get real resident feedback, ideas, and concerns. Mm-hmm. And I agree with her there. I mean, because they're right in front of your face. Yep. They're in their own element.
Yep.
They can be as candid as they want to be.
Right. And that's fine. We don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Please do.
Yep.
If we don't have answers, we went to a house yesterday that we started a conversation with out here on primary night. And, they wanted to talk some more. And we went to their house yesterday. We were there for hour and a half? At least.
Yeah, I was watching the sun go down while he's talking. I got to get out there and cut my grass, Rich. Come on, let's go. But we were there a while.
You spent the first hour and 29 minutes talking, so I had to get my little bit in.
So we were, we were there for a good bit talking to them about
it was probably an hour and a
getting
half.
their view on how they view the town hall right now and how are we going to do better, that kind of thing. So.
And I think it was a good conversation.
That's the whole thing. I mean,
they were very satisfied. They were very happy. Glad to hear what we had to say. So
satisfied. That's a great slogan.
Yeah.
Wayne and Rich will satisfy your every desire.
But no, Kevin. Go right back to Kevin Cunningham.
Except for our wives, right?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
I wasn't even gonna. I've tried to keep Cheryl and Mary Beth out of this conversation as much as possible.
Hit it. Just hit it.
That's right.
Bam! Just hit it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let's do that.
That's all right.
But no, Kevin Cunningham said it. He says it's a lot of work, but at the end of the day, it pays off.
Yeah. No, I would agree. I mean, I don't envy you,
No.
to be honest with you. I've never run. I never will. But I mean, I like being on the board that I'm on.
Yeah.
That's enough for me.
That's your
And,
ballywick. That's what
and
you like to
and
do.
the countless
You like to talk
hours.
about that. You like to get involved with that kind of stuff.
I do. The rec
Which
board,
is why there's things that I like to see done. For the kids.
It's not all kids. That's the thing. That's a percentage of it. It's parents. Like right now, there's a subcommittee that's myself, Melissa, and Tammy Dudek. We're the ones in charge of the Snowflake Parade.
Oh, okay.
Putting all that together.
Thank God there's other people on the board. Get something done.
I know. We're gonna have 5 floats.
But even all the countless hours during early voting and primary, sitting in a chair on the sidewalk down there, waving signs, waving, people beeping. People would stop and ask. They come over and start talking.
We had conversations during the day.
We generated a lot of conversations there too, so it works.
I thought it was really funny when I went down and I voted in the Republican primary, and then you weren't there at that moment. You were well, no, and then I left, and then Wayne texts me and goes, "I understand you voted," or something like that, and he goes, "Thank you for doing your civic duty." And I didn't vote for you.
You voted though.
Yeah, you voted.
You weren't on the ballot.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? So listen, we're about teamwork here. It's like he's running. He needs support. I'm going to support him. Right. And that's what we keep talking about when we have our meetings. It says we're all in this together. We have to work together as a team. Yep. It's the same kind of focus I'm going to do at the town hall. We're all a team. We all have to have one vision, all on the same page, listen to each other's viewpoints, work through them. I don't care what party you're on, because we have to work for the town, for the people that are paying us our salaries. Yeah. That's the bottom line, right? We're 2 guys that retired, that didn't think we were going to be doing any of this, right? 2 years ago, I got into it.
Actually, more than 2 years. I mean, that was when the election was.
Yeah,
more like three and a half.
No, it was July of 23.
Yep.
That's when
when I got endorsed.
Right, but what I'm saying is you worked for it before that. Didn't you? You didn't just show up at a meeting and go endorse me. I mean, you were campaigning a little bit, correct?
No,
really? Okay.
No, that whole thing came about that, who, we come up with our own slate, because we didn't what the current first selectman was doing with the borough, with some other issues.
And back then we're talking about Dana Bennett.
Right.
Correct. Okay.
And she was our...
Just want to make sure that's clear.
She was the RTC chair. She was coming up with her own slate of endorsement candidates. A couple of the committee members sent emails asking what's going on, because some of them were interested, and I was interested because I was going to retire in November. Mm-hmm. A few months out. Nothing. Didn't hear nothing. She said something about, well, it wouldn't be, this isn't, somebody asked it'd be more transparent if you put out who's going to be on the slate and why aren't I being asked or whatever. Right. And it was the response was, this isn't the time for transparency. So that was like the last straw.
When is there never a time for transparency? That should always.
There are some things like the developers coming in, things. Well, like
I understand that. But I'm talking about stuff that's already been.
But amongst the committee, no, there isn't.
Yeah.
All right. So it was like, okay, now what kind of games are going on? Right. So then we decided, I don't know, the 8-10 of us decided to have a meeting, and we all sat in a room and came up with the idea that we should come up with our own slate. If she's not going to work with us, we'll do it ourselves. So the first thing to talk about, who's going to be first selectman, and everybody's looking at each other. And I had mentioned to my wife once,
flip a coin,
a month or so ago, because we saw what was going on. I says, well, I'm retiring. Maybe I should run for first selectman. She gave me a look. You are not even going to think about that. Right.
Now she's your biggest endorser.
Now, and then come that day of the meeting, and we're sitting there, who's going to run for selectman? But everybody's working, right? Everybody's got a job. Nobody's really got the time for it. And my wife looks at me and says, you're retiring. And I said, yeah, I'm retiring in November. I mean, I could do it. So that's how it came
Here
about.
we are.
And that's why, okay, what does the first selectman do? I started looking into it. It was like, so it's like no agenda except to work for the people, try to make things better, try to be more transparent, try to get the word out of what's going on. I intend on walking around the town, still talking to people if I get in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Rich is a very social guy. He likes to talk to people. He knows everybody, around town. If he doesn't know somebody,
he said that if I voted for him, that
Here
he's going to put me back into Griswold now.
Yeah, you'll last about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah,
the king,
that's how it all came to be, and the first time, the funny thing was the first time that I saw the endorsements when I first joined the committee, 2020 or whatever it was, I joined, it was all open.
Yeah.
And everybody's, and then Dana read down a list. Who wants to run for first selectman? 2 or 3 people raised their hand. They write the names down. Then selectman, then board of finance, then board of ed, all the way down. And then you go back to the top. Okay, let's have a raise of hands for this person. And then you'd have people counting the hands and write the number down. And that's how it was done. It was wide open. The next time it was, secret stuff. And we didn't like that. That's not the way it's supposed to be.
All right. So the election is November 4th.
Yep.
Okay. So wish you guys good luck.
Thank you.
We'll see what happens next week. I think next week or not soon we'll also have the other side, the other part of the ballot, which will be Tina Falk and Matt Danieluk.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be joining us here in studio as well to give their thoughts about the upcoming election. I want to mention, which has nothing to do, and I don't even want to get into speculation, personal thoughts, or anything like that. Charlie Kirk.
That's sad.
Regardless of what, that was a kill shot.
Yeah.
That was a professional job.
Absolutely. You see where they showed him, that was
right. Whether I'm not saying I like him. I'm not saying I love him. I'm not saying I hate him.
That wasn't a high school rifle team.
No, that was a I saw the video. Did you see the video?
Yeah, I absolutely did. The crack, when that gun went crack, that wasn't even a 22. That was a killing gun.
Yeah. Yeah. He just spouted out of his,
he was dead at that point. Done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But it's just horrible. That was.
I'd use the word, but I won't. Horrible.
Yeah. My thought is that it just was. That was not an amateur.
No,
not at all.
At all. So
no way.
How do you make that shot if you're just Joe Schmo from the farm in Utah?
You're not.
You're not. So,
but especially he's sitting under a tent. He's 200 yards away.
Yeah.
You got all that to think about. But
Cheryl just said they found the gun.
They found what?
The gun.
Did they? No, last I heard, they hadn't found anything. They're still searching. So they found the gun.
Imagine somebody would run away with that and without being seen.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, get down off the roof.
Well, there are pictures of him standing, and there's, I guess, a video of him running away.
Yeah.
So
they pulled in one suspect, but I guess he was not the one. Two now?
Yeah.
Two, and they released him. And then they had another person of interest, but I don't know what happened there. So
they'll find him.
Yeah, that's well. Do you think they'll find him alive?
Well, that's the other thing. The guy going to go smoke himself?
Well,
because listen,
do you think he's going to smoke himself?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to get in. I don't want to get any of that, and stuff like that. All I wanted to say is
Utah has a death penalty.
Yeah. All I wanted to say was that was not a.
No,
that was a.
And the thing is, the man's a father.
I don't want to get any of that at all. So anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
I want to just say one thing.
Not about Charlie Kirk.
No, 9/11 ceremony tonight at 5:00. Please show up. Pay your respects for all those who.
Lasts about an hour or so. It was good. I went last year. It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Very good.
Yep. A couple of speeches. It's good.
At the elementary school by the memorial.
Mm-hmm. Gentlemen, thank you.
Yep.
Anytime.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck in the upcoming election. We'll see.